the other part of this is if you want to add some science into this, and you can do some more research on this. If you want to learn anything about quantum and you want to believe in any of the scientific proof for you to believe in things, please do some more research. I can give you some links and some people that will help with giving you some new knowledge or some new ideas on that. So there's this thing called the observer effect, and it's all about the way we view particles. And if you look at a particle, you are observing it, it reacts differently to when you're not. So if you take that on board, and there's this whole thing called the double slit experiment, you can have a look on YouTube, it's everywhere. If you take that idea on board, and if you understand more about the quantum structure and quantum manifestation, and if you want to pull that in a little bit to your belief system as well, and if you are anything like me, where you have to balance your spirituality with science because your logical brain needs a little bit of, hang on, how does this make sense? So you can mix them together. You can then look at it as an idea of, if I'm fully focused on wanting something, then it doesn't have a chance for it to come to me. So I need to sort of back off a little bit. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the next video with the letting go. But if you understand that from a science perspective, where they believe with particles, when you watch it, it scatters. When you don't watch it, it's a wave. So if you understand where I have a belief that we are uniquely coded frequencies, you can see it as whatever you want. In my mind, I see us as coded frequencies. So I see everything that happens in my reality with people, with the things that I believe in as codes. In my mind, they can look like threads, they can look like symbols, they can look like words. They are unique to everyone. Everything's made up of it. It's the same as us believing in everything as a vibrational frequency, and the way that it's all just these moving particles that are being formed together in order to create something solid. It's the energy into matter. It's the formulation of a frequency that vibrates hard enough and at the right frequency that eventually it manifests in something that feels more solid or complete. So I sort of base everything I do as bringing codes to light and turning them into matter. So if you look at the observer effect and understanding that when these codes are coming through, which is your ideas and things you want to create, or things that happen in your reality, as they're sort of coming through your existence and they start to be seen or want to be seen as they're coming up through everything, and they want to form themselves and become part of this physical matter in this holographic reality, that if you are watching and waiting and constantly looking for it to happen, it's not going to happen. Versus if you let go and you don't look at it anymore, you're going to allow it to come to you. That's what the whole science experiment is about, is the way that those particles form a whole different way that they can be looked at, depending on if they're being looked at or not. So it's the old, I'm not looking over here so that something can come to you instead of, oh my God, is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? So that's the whole theory behind it. But then the whole idea of that is just stop looking for things and allow them to come to you. The next chapter is all about letting go, and we'll talk about a lot more about that in there. But this whole fantasy piece is using the normity of a story that is so filled with fantasy and way out there ideas and thoughts, which is literally allowing you to not be observing the particles trying to form matter. They're not being watched. You're not giving it a condition. You are creating this scope where you are still getting the energy of the thing you want. You are feeling into that vibrational frequency or the thing you want to match to, but then you're creating it in such a way that it can come to you in whatever way it wants to.